Being a president is a responsible and complex job. However, it is also very dangerous. Based on this, governments are willing to spend tens of millions of dollars on various security measures for their country's leaders. Some of these measures are impressive in their technology or mobility, while others may seem simply strange. However, as long as they all work, there is no reason to complain, right? So let's take a look at the list of the most interesting and cool security measures taken to protect presidents. Chinese bodyguards. Today, the Central Security Bureau is the primary organization responsible for safeguarding China's leadership, including the head of state and other powerful leaders. This bureau oversees the Central Guard Unit, also known as the Central Guard Regiment, which is a highly trained bodyguard unit affiliated with the People's Liberation Army of China. Throughout its history, this unit has provided protection to all past Chinese leaders and their immediate families, with Jinping's security imposing particularly demanding requirements on them. Comprising over 8,000 personnel organized into 7 groups totaling 36 squadrons, each subgroup and individual within the unit has specific missions related to the president's protection. Some members of the security detail carry lightweight ballistic briefcases that can quickly transform into fold-out bulletproof shields or blankets, providing rapid protective coverage when needed. Additionally, there are reports of some members having machine guns disguised as briefcases, allowing for immediate and decisive action in case of a threat. While the extensive security measures might seem excessive for the protection of one individual, they ensure that the President of China can move without fear, knowing that his safety is well guarded. God save the Pope. The Pontifical Swiss Guard is responsible for the safety and protection of the Pope. Despite not being a president, Pope Francis is the Bishop of Rome and the head of the Catholic Church, making him a significant figure in world leadership due to the Vatican's status as a sovereign state. When the Pope conducts public events such as blessing masses, the Vatican employs robust security measures. Vatican City is highly fortified, and the first line of defense in case of danger is the Pontifical Swiss Guard, a group of armed forces and honor guards overseen by the Pope. Although they're not an invading force, the Pontifical Swiss Guard serves as the Pope's personal army and is well equipped and skilled. Established in 1506 under the order of Pope Julius II, the Pontifical Swiss Guard is one of the oldest active military units in history. While their initial role involved wielding spears and wearing armor, today they consist of highly trained members from the Swiss military. Anyone attempting to harm the Pope would have to contend with the formidable security provided by the Pontifical Swiss Guard. The White House air filtration. Apart from having a poison tester, the American president can also safeguard against severe illness or even death by ensuring good air circulation within the White House. Since opening windows would compromise security, a reliable air filtration system is crucial. Despite sounding trivial, the need for fresh, clean air is paramount, especially considering the number of people residing and working in the White House, along with the daily influx of visitors. The risk of illness spreading in such a densely populated environment is significant, and if a contagious disease were to reach the president, it could have serious consequences. To mitigate this risk, the White House is equipped with a cutting-edge air filtration system, because not all threats are visible. Russian President Motorcade. Even though Vladimir Putin's motorcade may have fewer vehicles than some, it is nonetheless one of the most impressive and expensive. Putin travels in a custom-built car called the Urus Senat, which was specifically designed for him by engineering teams at Porsche and NAMI, the Central Scientific Research Automobile and Automotive Engines Institute, weighing in at a substantial 6 tons and measuring 23 feet in length. The Urus Senat provides ample space for Putin, his associates, personal bodyguards, and members of the Russian Secret Service. The car is equipped with extensive security features, the details of which are closely guarded by the Russian government. Powered by a 4.4-liter V8 engine, the Urus Senat can also function as an off-road vehicle if needed. Its price tag is around $10 million, making it a significant investment. Additionally, Putin's convoy includes 3 Mercedes G-Class luxury SUVs, each costing over $140,000 and capable of reaching a top speed of 137 miles per hour. The convoy is accompanied by a police detail consisting of just 6 motorcycles, which clear the road and monitor crowds. While not the most elaborate convoy globally, Putin's vehicles are certainly suitable for the name Fast and Furious. Turkish snipers. As Turkey's 12th and current president, Erdogan is always accompanied by an extensive 60-man bodyguard team wherever he goes. Additionally, when he travels, particularly on official visits, he is protected by at least 100 snipers who are strategically positioned to monitor any potential threats. In situations where there is a higher perceived threat level, the number of snipers can increase to as many as 3,000. These snipers are highly trained and capable of noticing subtle movements that could indicate a threat, ensuring that they can respond swiftly and effectively to any potential danger aimed at the president. I would be terrified to be in a crowd, knowing that somewhere in the shadows a sniper gun is aimed at me. North Korean joggers. The North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is a controversial figure who is accompanied by a convoy wherever he goes. While it's unlikely that anyone would attempt to harm him, his security is still essential. Kim Jong-un's black limousine displays the nation's flag and is rumored to have a private toilet. However, what sets his security detail apart is the main office of adjutants, a group of men in black suits who are in excellent physical condition and jog around his limousine. Although the official reason for this has not been stated. Given his character, it can be assumed that Kim simply does not want to be surrounded by men who are much taller than him. Recruits typically come from elite North Korean families, and the leader conducts extensive background checks that trace back several generations. Although there are around 200 to 300 members in the main office of adjutants, only 12 are chosen to serve as human shields in Kim Jong-un's unique convoy. How effective is the protection scheme of instructing your bodyguards to run alongside the car? Perhaps it would be more logical to have them ride motorcycles or travel in other vehicles? Or is this method of movement the truest and most effective form of a human shield? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. American 10-mile system. While there are numerous Secret Service agents employed by the United States government, only a select group is chosen to work for the Presidential Protection Division. These individuals are trained in a practice known as 10-minute medicine, which equips them to perform all necessary emergency medical procedures to sustain the president's life until specialized medical care can be obtained. Traveling, the president is always within 10 miles of a trauma center, and an agent familiar with the hospital's operating room staff is stationed there as a precaution. Additionally, the group accompanying the president carries multiple bags of blood for potential transfusions in case of an emergency. This level of training was implemented following an assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan in 1981. After being shot, Reagan was initially planned to be taken directly to the White House, but due to internal bleeding in his lungs, he was redirected to the hospital where he underwent life-saving surgery. It is believed that had he been transported home as initially planned, he might not have survived. Russian martial art, Systema. There are situations, especially in close or crowded quarters, where firearms may not be the best solution. For this reason, Secret Service agents are also trained in hand-to-hand combat, specifically in a Russian martial art called Systema. This martial art, used by the Spetsnaz and KGB, translates to the system in English. Unlike many other martial arts, Systema does not focus on formalized movements or competitions, but instead emphasizes an adaptable approach that encompasses a wide range of techniques. These techniques include controlling an attacker's limbs to gain an advantage, as well as defense against weapons and disarming opponents. In the event of a firearm threat, a Secret Service member trained in Systema can effectively disarm an assailant using only their hands, gain control of the situation, and incapacitate the threat if necessary. While Systema aims to neutralize rather than inflict harm, its techniques can be lethal when necessary. Despite its effectiveness, practitioners of Systema are trained to maintain composure and act with precision even under duress, making it a valuable skill for individuals, including those in the Secret Service, where remaining calm and in control is crucial. American Beast. The vehicle used by the U.S. president is commonly known as the Beast. This nickname might be a nod to a character from the X-Men, but it primarily reflects the car's exceptional security features, which make it virtually impenetrable. The car is equipped with 8-inch thick armored doors and bullet-resistant glass, capable of stopping a .44 Magnum bullet. Its body consists of 5 inches of military-grade armor, and it also includes armored floor plates to protect against bombs placed underneath it. However, the car's armor could be compromised by poisoning the air inside, in which case the vehicle's built-in oxygen supply in the trunk would be activated. Additionally, the car is outfitted with night vision cameras and tear gas cannons for extreme situations. Its armored gas tank automatically seals itself if punctured. The vehicle always travels ahead of Air Force One when the president is on the move, meaning that wherever the president goes, the beast is already there. Notably, the presidential motorcade is also equipped with a Dillon 130-40 Gatling gun, which can fire thousands of rounds per minute and is described as one of the world's most advanced small-caliber defense suppression weapons. The gun is mounted on one of the other vehicles in the motorcade and can emerge from the vehicle's roof in an emergency. The White House pressure pads. Despite having round-the-clock security cameras and infrared sensors, the White House employs an additional layer of security in the form of carefully placed and well-hidden pressure pads. These sensors, concealed under the grass on the lawn and throughout the floors of the building, are not primarily meant to detect intruders, but rather to track the movements of the president. By monitoring these pressure pads, security personnel can determine the president's location within the building at any given time. This system is likened to the Marauder's map from the Harry Potter series, providing constant surveillance akin to a 24-hour watch. Given the vast size of the White House, spanning 6 stories and 55,000 square feet and accommodating hundreds of staff members, monitoring these pressure pads is a challenging task. However, the security team is highly trained and vigilant, ensuring that they can closely monitor the president's movements and respond swiftly in case of any security concerns. We've looked at quite a few different measures that presidents take for their own safety, but our number one is not only effective, but also extremely cool. Let's take a closer look at it. Here goes. American President Air Force One. While the Beast's security features are impressive, the pinnacle of high-tech sophistication in the world of James Bond-like capabilities is found in the skies. Air Force One, also known as AF-1, is one of the most technologically advanced planes in existence. Well, there being 2 of them, both named AF-1. So I'm confused. For example, S-wings are not ordinary. They are equipped with concealed flares that can distract, discourage, or disrupt enemy missiles and heat-seeking projectiles. Additionally, the aircraft is outfitted with electronic countermeasures capable of jamming enemy radar and disarming their missiles. Sounds extremely cool, but what if it faces a more serious threat, such as a nuclear blast? Shockingly, it's designed to survive that as well, thanks to extra protective shielding that safeguards its electronics from the electromagnetic pulse generated by a nuclear explosion. Endless fuel. One of the most impressive security features of Air Force One is its capability to refuel mid-flight. When the plane requires refueling, a second aircraft arrives to perform the task, allowing Air Force One to remain airborne if necessary. This refueling process is reserved for emergencies and is not typically needed frequently. Air Force One has a fuel capacity of 203,000 liters, enabling it to fly long distances without refueling. When fully fueled, the aircraft weighs a substantial 377,000 kilograms and is still able to fly halfway around the globe. Private stairs. Stairs don't sound like a big threat, unless, of course, you slip on them carelessly. However, if a malicious individual were to tamper with the airport stairs in advance, they could sabotage them in various ways to ensure they are the last stairs the president ever uses. That's why Air Force One is equipped with its own retractable stairs, ensuring they remain untouched. These stairs are positioned at both the rear and front entrances, eliminating the need to wait for the airport to provide them. Top speed. Air Force One can reach speeds of over 600 miles per hour, which is approximately 92% of the speed of sound. It's so fast that the F-16 fighter planes that escorted the president's plane after the September 11 terrorist attacks had to request that the pilot slow down to keep up. This speed allows the plane to serve as an airborne bunker if necessary, providing a secure environment for the president and their team if ground positions are deemed unsafe, as was the case on September 11th. Air Force One can also reach altitudes of 45,100 feet, significantly higher than the typical altitude of commercial flights, which is around 30,000 feet. Additionally, in the event of extended periods in the air, the president is well taken care of, as the plane is equipped with an office, conference room, bedroom, gym, and kitchen. But the most mind-blowing thing is on-flight surgery. You already know that the president is always accompanied by a doctor wherever he goes. However, in the event of a medical emergency during a flight that requires surgery, Air Force One is equipped with its own fully functional operating room. This facility is stocked with a comprehensive supply of medications, medical instruments, an operating table, and other necessary equipment. There is even a refrigerated supply of the president's blood type stored in the operating room. With such a large number of people and equipment around, not only would I feel protected, but I might also gradually become a bit of a sociophobe. Yes, every profession has its drawbacks. Now I'm looking forward to your opinion in the comments. Which security measure seems most effective to you? Perhaps we forgot to mention something really cool. Share it with our viewers below. However, there are places on our planet where no bodyguard can help. Interested? Then check out our videos on the most deadly places on Earth. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, see y'all